Did you know there's a whole universe within you? You may not contain planets, but you do have plenty of life. Where? In your gut. According to Frederick Backhead, an expert in cellular microbiology, the human intestine contains 10 to 100 trillion microbes, which is almost 10 times greater than the total number of human cells. Within those trillions of gut bacteria, there are about 1,000 different species, in which case there are about 5,000 different bacterial strains. A deficiency in one of those strains, or an overrepresentation, can cause various problems related to your mental health, which we will explore later. Despite what you may think, not all bacteria is bad bacteria. According to Harvard Health, your gut bacteria metabolizes nutrients from food and certain medications, serves as a protective barrier against intestinal infections, and produces vitamin K. So why is that all important? Mental Health America states that the lining of your gut is considered your second brain. It is actually physically connected to your brain, heart, and lungs through the vagus nerve, in which it sends important signals. Therefore, depending on what kind and how much bacteria you have in your gut, completely changes the signals being sent. This is why your gut is also commonly referred to as your second brain. Scientists don't say this for nothing. Grace Lucas, a graduate of the University of London in Health Sciences, warns that mental health is the leading cause of disability globally. Gut health and mental health have a close-knit tie. Mental Health America states that there is a strong relationship between having mental health problems and having gastrointestinal symptoms like heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux, bloating, pain, constipation, and/or diarrhea. Unsurprisingly, they also found that people with GI discomfort were more likely to suffer from mental disorders. Johns Hopkins Medicine also states that people with irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, are commonly prescribed antidepressants because of the effect they have on the lining of your gut. For so many years, doctors believed that it was the mental disorder that caused gut problems. Now they're starting to believe that it's actually the opposite. Many scientists today are investigating this. According to Ting Huang, a doctor of psychiatry from the First Affiliated Hospital, gut microbiota secrete neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, gamma-aminobutyric acid, and many more. One study at the University of Graz in Australia found that participants receiving probiotics had a higher reported mood than others that were receiving placebo. Many other studies evaluating mood and gut health have been completed, all with similar findings. A newer sort of therapy is called fecal transplantation. It may sound weird, but it's involving transplanting a fecal sample from a healthy donor into a person's gastrointestinal tract to treat recurrent colitis from Clostridium difficile infection, which causes inflammation in the colon and leads to diarrhea, cramping, and fever, according to Harvard Health. PLOS Biology actually states that fecal transplants cure about 90% to 95% of cases of C. difficile colitis. This may actually be preferable in older patients as they cannot fight off infections as easily and it is riskier for them to take antibiotics. Have you ever seen a cow with a hole in the side of it? This is called a cannula, which looks like a hole, and it is inserted into the side of their rumen. The rumen is much like our gut because it hosts many bacteria that help cows break down their feed. In the case that a cow has an unhealthy rumen because it has too much or too little bacteria, rumen contents from a healthy cow can be inserted into an unhealthy cow through a cannula to promote proper bacterial growth, which is very similar to the fecal transplants. Interestingly, if you go to our very own MSU dairy farm, you can find a lot of cows that are cannulated for research reasons. In a study done by Queen's University in Canada, they found that doing fecal transplants from mentally healthy individuals to mentally unhealthy individuals had a decrease in anxiety and depression-like symptoms. The opposite was found when fecal matter from mentally unhealthy individuals was transplanted into mentally healthy individuals. This therapy is definitely not commonplace, but evidence strongly points to it being effective. Would you get a fecal transplant? So how can you use this information for your own well-being? First, eat any foods with probiotics. Probiotics are live bacteria and yeast that are good for you. Some examples of foods that contain probiotics include yogurt, in which the label should say live or active cultures, unpasteurized sauerkraut, kimchi, miso soup, kefir, which is yogurt-like beverage, kombucha, which is fermented black tea, tempeh, which is made of soybeans, and finally, apple cider vinegar. Next, you can take probiotic supplements. Make sure the probiotic supplements are live, in which case it would have a higher effect. Finally, avoid antibiotics unless completely necessary. They are nonspecific and kill both good and bad bacteria. If you do have concerns about your mental health, please do not rely on this information. This is only meant to inform you on ways your gut can influence your brain. This does not mean it is the only cause of mental disorders. Please reach out to your doctor, a medical professional, or a licensed nutritionist for more personalized information. If you would like further resources, some great options are Johns Hopkins Medicine, Harvard Health, and Healthline.com. Thank you.